Hey everyone, Michael O'Brien here, and today I wanted to answer a question that someone had in one of the Facebook groups. I apologize because I forgot who asked the question. This question was asked a few weeks ago, and I had some time to think about it, and I wanted to give you guys a little bit of my 2 cents on the subject. And that question was, what do I do if a client hires me for a certain amount of time to do like walk around magic, but I wasn't able to get to every guest? Am I obligated to stay overtime and not charge them anything to make sure that every single guest has gotten it? They're only paying me to be from this hour to this hour. What if I have another event afterwards and I can't stay? The answer is, there is no right or wrong answer. It really depends. It's on a case-by-case basis. First and foremost, I want to say you should do your absolute best to get all of the details of the event up front. That way you avoid making any promises that you can't keep. You avoid any kind of confusion or anything like that. You have all of your terms laid out up front so that the client knows exactly what they're paying for. If the client hires you for 2 hours and there's 1 million guests, like I'm just going to be like ridiculous, I'm going to say there's 1 million guests. The client can't very well be upset with you for not performing magic for every single person there. Because in order to do that in 2 hours, you would literally have to go, hello, and then move on to the next group. Like that's the only amount of time that you really have to do anything. So it's unrealistic. So it's your job as the magician to kind of let the client know what's reasonable and what isn't reasonable based on their budget or the amount of time that they're working with or the amount of guests that are there, etc. So I'm going to give you guys just a little kind of a suggestion. You feel free to use it if you want. It's completely up to you. This is the way I do it. I charge the client per hour based on the amount of guests that are going to be there. And for me, that number is usually 50. So for every 50 guests, I recommend 1 hour by one magician. So let's just say there was 100 guests. I would recommend 2 hours with one magician performing or 1 hour with 2 magicians performing, because that's 1 hour for every 50 guests per one magician. That's going to ensure coverage. Now again, it's completely up to you. It depends how long your performance is. I try to keep my performance between 5 and 7 minutes per group. And when I say group, I mean a group of like 8 people maximum usually. Usually it's not more than that. Usually it's a smaller group, like 4 or 5 people. So you kind of really have to gauge that. Now, if they're seated at tables, that's even easier for you to figure out because you can just do the math. You know, if there's 12 people at a table, you know, and you only have an hour and there's like 5 tables, you can do the math for that. You can figure it out. Now, I'm too lazy and to do the math right now, but you get the point. So let's just say they wanted to have you there for 2 hours and they're telling you there's going to be like 1,000 people there. You're going to want to explain to the guests that you're going to do your best to make sure as many people see magic as possible, but it's unrealistic to expect every single guest to see something. Ask them if that's an important priority to them. Does every single guest need to see magic? If they say yes, I would recommend either doing a show, like a full 30-minute show so that everyone at once gets to see a show. Or 2, I would recommend hiring more magicians or extending the time if that's possible. That way you can ensure coverage. In 4 hours, it'd be a lot easier for 2 magicians to get all 1,000 people than it would be in 2 hours from one magician to be able to do that. So now here's where it kind of gets into muddy water. Let's just say you are performing, but you're going a little bit over your time and you're performing for like 10 to 12 minutes at each group and half the guests haven't seen it and there's only like 100 people there and the guy hired you for like 3 hours. You didn't perform for all 100 people in 3 hours. I'm going to say that's probably kind of your fault. And so if that ever did happen, you should be expected to stay after if possible and kind of do a little bit of overtime on the house for the guests. They don't get charged for it, and do the best you can and kind of entertain for them. A good friend of mine, Richard Rebuffo, he has a rule where he'll always do at least 15 minutes more than the time that he was booked for. Just as a show of good faith that he's doing his best to make sure every single group got to see something. So maybe he's booked for 2 hours once his 2 hours is up, he'll go do 1 or 2 more groups, make sure that they see the magic, and then he'll take off. That way, the client really knows that you did your best to make sure that everyone got an opportunity. And if the client tries to be like, oh, well, you didn't perform for everybody, he could be like, yeah, but you hired me for 2 hours. There's this many people. And I actually was here for 2 hours and like 15, 20 minutes. I actually stayed over on my time and I didn't charge you for it. So it shows that you're really trying. You're really doing your best for the client. You're looking out for them and all that good stuff. I hope that answers that question. I know there's not really a right or wrong answer. In general, it kind of really depends specifically on the event itself, circumstances surrounding it, and all that good stuff. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that the magician's obligated to stay after? Do you think I'm right? Or the magician, should know up front the situation, and if the magician kind of messes up, then the magician should be obligated to stay over? Or do you think, nope, 2 hours, that's it, you were hired for 2 hours, and right at 1 hour and 59 minutes, and 58, 59, and boom, I'm done now. Even if I'm halfway through a trick, I'm going to get the hell out of there because that's all you paid me for. I mean, there are some people that think that way. It's all about, the time and stuff. But I'm all about customer service, so I do my best for my clients. I think I'm a little too nice sometimes. I'll have clients be like, hey, not as many guests are showing up yet as we thought. Do you think we could push it back like another half an hour? And sometimes I'll be like, okay. And then it comes and bites me in the butt because I've been there for like an extra 45 minutes to an hour. And I was supposed to be out of here by 8 o'clock, and now I'm not even leaving until 9 o'clock. But, we do what we can for the guests, and this is how you get 5-star reviews, because they know that you're really looking out for them and you're going to do what you can to help out. I mean, you can be a stickler for the time, but at the end of the day, it's 2 hours of you playing with a deck of cards and having fun with people, and you're making like $500 to $1,000 doing it. Are you really going to be caring that much about 15 minutes wasted time? Completely up to you. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If this is your first time watching this channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Please go ahead and feel free to binge watch all of my other videos. I have a lot of advice for magicians, reviews, tutorials, magic performance videos, and more. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Till next time.